So the NFC Divisional Round is now all set on Saturday on NBC. It'll be the Atlanta Falcons going to Philadelphia to face the Eagles, while on Sunday on Fox, it'll be the Saints and Drew Brees heading to the Super Bowl 52 city. That would be Minneapolis to face the Minnesota Vikings. Set the stage first, Falcons at Eagles.
Okay, here you go. You know, the Eagles are underdogs. First time ever. And number one seed has ever been an underdog. And rightfully so, because Carson Wentz was so important to that team. And I know Fletcher Cox this week said, we got a chip on our shoulder because nobody thinks we can win this game. And I'm one of those guys. I think that the Falcons, as we were just talking about earlier in the show, their defense has gotten a lot better. With Marcus Trufant healthy at cornerback, they now are whole as a defense. I just don't see Nick Foles being able to go out there and complete enough passes and to get his team in the end zone the way Carson Wentz was doing.
Right, but they got a pretty doggone good defense in Philly now.
Listen, but they do got a defense. But, you know, I think sometimes we discredit what experience really means. Like, we're talking about the current MVP of the National Football League, Matt Ryan, coming into there to go against Nick Foles, right? Then you're talking about bringing probably the top receiver in the game, Julio Jones, right? And so now you ask yourself a question. Who do you actually stop? Who do you man up outside? Because if you do, Devontae Freeman and that run game becomes very crucial very quickly. And so I don't know. I like the Atlanta Falcons. I think not having Carson Wentz, like Boomer said, really hurts them.
You know, I would say this. Coach Schwartz. I hate playing against Coach Schwartz.
Wow. You were with Chicago and he was in Detroit.
Oh, my gosh. So if anybody can put a great game plan together to stop the Falcons and with their attack, it's him.
Help the viewers understand, why do you dislike playing against him?
I mean, he has a defense that looks the same, but he throws so much at you. And the defensive end, the defensive lines, man, they're dogs. I mean, he just let them loose, and they go get it. I played in Philadelphia, and there's this Giants-Philly rivalry, right? And I was like, okay. But when I got there, that was probably the best atmosphere that I've ever played in. So the X factor this game is going to be that crowd and that atmosphere. That's the only thing that will help this team come out there with a victory.
Nice perspective.
You talked about Jim Schwartz. Let me just kind of things I wrote down. I wrote this down, and it falls into your hands. Both quarterbacks, get ready. You're going to take a beating.
Oh, my gosh.
Because both defensive fronts are good, they're rough, they're tough, and they're deep. That's something you're going to have to be very prepared for. The difference in the game, in my opinion, is Matt Ryan, the experience, the way he has managed football games, he was the biggest reason why they beat the Rams.
Yes.
The plays, just the movement, everything. Didn't make a mistake. He's played that way quite a bit this year. They're just not as explosive as they were in the past.
Who do you like in this one?
I'm going to take Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Okay. Saints, Vikings, set the stage on that
Well,
one.
here's the deal. I think the Vikings have been the most consistent team other than the Patriots all year long. You know, they've been right there. Defensively, they've been there. Even when finally Case Keenum took over, it took him a while to get comfortable. Adam Thielen raised his game now, so all of a sudden he became a significant part. Latavius Murray is filled in for Dalvin Cook, and they got a healthy offensive line, and I love their defense. Their defense, all three phases. And I'm telling you, New Orleans has struggled on the road. They lost at Tampa Bay. They lost at Atlanta. And Minnesota is going to be really tough to beat in their building.
Brandon, how do you see it?
Eventually, it's going to come down to the quarterback play. And I know you guys love to hear that, right? You got Case Keenum on one side, you got Drew Brees on the other. And to me, this game is so much bigger for Drew Brees than any other player on the field. Because we're talking about legacy. How many years have the Saints been down in the dump? Right? And now they emerge and they're having this awesome season. And everybody's been talking about Aaron Rodgers being great, Tom Brady being great. And what happened to Drew Brees? And Drew Brees, we all know the competitor that he is. Oh, my gosh. He's going out there with a big chip on his shoulder, and I think he's thinking about legacy.
Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram did not have a good game last week, right? You take them in that dome. The one quarterback that can go into Minnesota and win is Drew Brees.
So you like New Orleans?
I do like New Orleans.
Yes, that's good. I'm glad.
Go ahead.
No, I'm glad you're glad.
Because I'm behind.
Because you know you behind me.
And I like Minnesota.
Not bad.
Go ahead.
And I know this. Case Keenum, you can talk about all this stuff about quarterbacks. He is not going to flinch because he is not afraid to go down in flames. And we've seen it all year long. Their offense is designed to beat this New Orleans defense. They're going to get him in the flow of the game. He's going to move around. He's tough. And Boomer said it. Minnesota's defense, they got a lockdown corner in Xavier Rhodes. That's a big deal. And Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, he can only wait so long. He loves the blitz. And you talked about it too. The wide receivers, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, they can beat one-on-one.
Yeah,
That's why.
Well, no, the X factor in this game for me is Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph, their tight end, could have a big game here. I actually like Minnesota to be the first team ever in the history of the NFL to host Super Bowls. I think they're going to go all the way. I think it's set up for them. And
Drew Brees.
Who do you like?
If Drew Brees goes in to beat Minnesota, Atlanta beats Philly. The NFC Championship is in New Orleans.
And who do you like in this game?
I like New Orleans.
But Brandon?
I like New Orleans.
You are a lot more definitive in your analysis with Ray sitting over there.
Because this is the first year. This is the first
My
year.
arm's feeling better.
This is the first time in 4 years that he's behind in picks.